CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Me, Nick Qualia, here with Mike Molyneux. No Marvizon this week, but he will be back, I'm assuming, next week. I think next week, but we don't know. It sounds like we don't know.
TBD. TBD. Marv is TBD right now.
Yeah, he's out of the country right now. So just me tonight here with Mike. And we've got, July conversation for the Patriots.
Slow times right now.
Scrapping it together. But we got some fantasy football.
Yep.
And we do have a Stephon Gilmore topic that I thought was interesting. Let's get into that here. All right, Mike. Stephon Gilmore. Now, we know about the contract negotiations. He wants more money. He just wants to be paid what he's worth. Whatever that Josina Anderson quote was that he had. He just wants to be paid what he's worth. So, with that, did I just go MIA? I might have just went MIA here. But I'll just keep.
You're
there. We go.
Okay, I think you're back.
I'm back. No, my camera just came out. Now, for Stephon Gilmore, if the Patriots and Gilmore do not come to an agreement here on a contract, and let's just say hypothetically that he holds out. Let's just say that he does not make it back to the team, especially in time for week 4. If he's not here on this defense that we've had a lot of discussions about being pretty damn good, do you think that this defense is going to take a significant step backwards, or do you think it's going to be destroyed, or do you think they're going to be able to make do without Gilmore?
So when it comes to Stephon Gilmore, and I mean, that quote, like you said, is something along the lines of he wants to just be paid what he's worth. He wants to be paid what he's worth. And, from all accounts, people understand and realize how good of a player Stephon Gilmore is. Obviously, he's getting older, he's 31 years old, or I believe 32, somewhere around that age. So obviously he's not one of the younger cornerbacks in the league, but he still is capable of being a solid cornerback in the league. I think ESPN came up with a rank recently, and they had him ranked as one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the NFL. He was either ranked 3 or 4. I don't remember. And you're talking about a guy who's just won the Defensive Player of the Year, 2 seasons ago? So people know what Stephon Gilmore brings to the table. And when it comes to the Patriots defense as a whole, and especially looking at that secondary, just having Stephon Gilmore part of that secondary, I think strikes some kind of fear in opposing teams' eyes. Like when you're facing the Patriots and, you're a wideout or tight end, or, your opposing offense, you're looking at the Patriots like, okay, we got to go up against Stephon Gilmore in the secondary. You take Stephon Gilmore out the equation, will the Patriots defense and their secondary still be a solid defense? Yeah, but Stephon Gilmore not being there takes away a little bit of that fear factor that the defense may cause. You look at teams who have big name players, Aaron Donald from the Rams, Khalil Mack with the Bears. You think of those guys like, okay, this is a player you got to watch out for. They might, wreak havoc. I think Stephon Gilmore falls into that category of some of these guys. Okay, facing Stephon Gilmore in the secondary, okay, we got to make sure we're on our P's and Q's when we're out there. But when you take him away from the Patriots, and if a deal isn't able to be worked out between him and the team, and they go in a direction where they may trade him, it just takes away that pizzazz, that it factor that comes with the Patriots defense, and especially this secondary if you took Stephon Gilmore out the picture.
Right. And by the way, I know I was frozen. I think I'm back.
You're back. You're back.
All right. I don't know what was going on with my camera there, but I fixed it, kept it on mute, fixed it while you were talking. Easy.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm an idiot when it comes to technology. All right. So when it comes to Gilmore, obviously he's one of the best in the league at what he does, if not the best. But with the question being, if you lose him, does it absolutely destroy your defense? It's going to significantly hurt, but I think you're still serviceable. But now, in terms of like, does the team need him? That's a totally different ballgame here. Because, and we talk about this every week, of the question mark on the other side of the ball at the quarterback position. You need this defense to be badass this year. You need this defense to kick some serious ass if you're going to be contenders. That all depends on how Cam performs or Mac Jones, I guess. But you need that defense to be badass. And to have it be up to that standard, that caliber, I think Stephon Gilmore has to be obviously in the equation there. Now, again, he just wants to be paid what he's worth. And I want to talk about this tweet. I hope I still have it up. Yeah, so our own CLNS Media, Evan Lazar, tweeted this. If I was Stephon Gilmore's agent, I would bring this to my next negotiation with Bill Belichick. I think he's crediting PFF Louis there. Completion percentage. Patriots and Stephon Gilmore 2020 season completion percentage with Gilmore. The opposing offense would complete 64.3% of the passes. And without Gilmore, it was up to 69.1. So obviously, he's a significant key to this defense. But, again, if you want to just boil it down to that one question, does it destroy your defense? I don't think so. But when you look deeper, when you look at what the Patriots need this season out of that defense, it'll destroy you in those terms, where you need this defense to be at an extremely high caliber if you're going to compete, especially, in this division where you got Josh Allen. You're playing Josh Allen with the Bills twice a year and Stephon Diggs. So you need him. You need Gilmore on the field. And I've said this a bunch. I would be shocked if he's not on the field for week 4 against Tom Brady in the Bucs. Shocked.
Yeah, I don't think the Patriots are idiots. I mean, I think they completely understand. Belichick understands what Gilmore brings to the table. I don't think they're oblivious to the fact that they know they have one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And, it could be Gilmore. It can be anybody. If you look at what he brings to the table compared to what the other cornerbacks are getting paid in the league, of course you'd feel some type of way. And this goes for any player in any position. If you know you're performing well, but you look at the guys across the league who are making significantly much more than you, obviously you're going to feel some type of way. So I don't feel bad, or I'm not upset about how Gilmore is going about it. And, we've seen this story many times, many years. And sometimes this can get ugly, where a player can, start bashing the team or start dropping a lot of hints and saying wild things on social media. Stephon Gilmore isn't doing anything like that. The most he did is, I think, when they dropped that graphic of, how much cornerbacks are being paid, the top cornerbacks are being paid in the league, and it showed where Gilmore was compared to the other guys. I think the most he did on Twitter or something is drop the eyes emoji, and that's light. He didn't do anything crazy or anything to really damage his character or how he's viewed here in New England, in my opinion. And something that you said that is really important is the fact that there's a question mark on the other side of the football. Because there's a question mark at your quarterback position and you don't know exactly what you're getting from there. Of course, you want the best options possible defensively, so that if you know your offense, you don't know what to expect from your offense, at least you know you got some of the best guys defensively that can help keep you in games. And I would like to think the Patriots and Bill Belichick especially knows and understands that, which is why I definitely firmly believe a deal will get hammered out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think a deal is going to get done soon. And again, I think they need it. And I've been jumping on this point a bunch. This team is going to compete in week 4 specifically. And I can't believe that Bill Belichick would go into basically Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady without Stephon Gilmore on his defensive side of the ball. He's going to throw everything in that game. And he's going to want Stephon Gilmore, his top defense. Yeah, right. He's probably his top defenseman, defense player.
Yeah.
He's going to want him in the game opposing Tom because he knows that's going to be probably his best chance to win that football game, or at least having him in significantly increases your chances to win that football game, which I think matters a lot. Okay, now we want to talk fantasy. This is a big fantasy football show here, and we're going to incorporate that more and more as we go. So the question here this week is Cam Newton. At one point in the past, Cam Newton was the guy that you wanted on your fantasy team. He was slinging it through the air. He was moving it on the ground. He was elite in the world of fantasy football. But now, obviously, especially after what we saw last year, we're past that part of our fantasy football lives. But the question here is, if you're getting towards the end of your draft, and I think it's a pretty deep draft this year, there's a lot of talent on the board that you can go after. If Cam Newton's still there, are you taking Cam Newton to be your backup quarterback, potentially QB3 on your fantasy football roster? Mike, what do you think?
If you're trying to play fantasy and just have a good time and enjoy yourself, and you're not taking...
Okay, let's say this. Specifically, you're playing in a league for money.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now we're talking here. Playing for a league.
Yeah, I'm not just dicking around here. I'm not just playing a free league.
Let me tell you something. Cam Newton would only be on my team if I secured one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. It's the only way Cam Newton is making it on my team. Because I don't want to be in a situation where you take one of these middle-of-the-pack quarterbacks and they're iffy. Now you're talking about, well, you got to really pay attention to what the matchup is this week. If you get like Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, you get one of those guys on your team, you don't care what the freaking matchup is come Sunday. They're your starting quarterback. Now you dip into like the tier 2 and tier 3 guys where you got to start really looking into, well, who they're facing. What's the weather like? Is it a dome or is it outside? Is it snowing? When you get to those guys, then it gets kind of iffy. But if I got one of those top 3 guys that I just named, that I don't even have to worry about the matchup, who it is, I'm just plugging them into the starting lineup, Cam Newton can be on my team. And he's only going to be there because I got to plug him in 1 week. And that's the bye week for the other guy. But if I'm not able to secure one of those top guys in the draft, I don't know if I'm looking at Cam Newton, because now if I have to worry about matchups and this and that, or should I start Cam or should I start I'm trying to think of who's a middle-of-the-pack quarterback in the league. Tannehill? Ryan Tannehill?
Right, yeah. Sure.
If I got to look at him and then Cam Newton, those are the 2 quarterbacks in my league, and I got to flip-flop, I don't know if I want to be flip-flopping and thinking of Cam Newton, because right now, as much as I'm excited for this Patriots season, I don't know what to expect out of Cam Newton. I know what I can probably expect out of Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, if he plays. Like I know what I can expect out of those guys. But Cam, I don't know. So again, if it was me, unless I have one of those top guys, I'll take Cam Newton and he could plug in for that 1 bye week. But if depending on how the draft goes and guys are slipping and I get a quarterback late, I can't look at Cam Newton because I don't want him to be filling in and having to really dissect matchups at the quarterback position, because I don't fully trust Cam Newton in the world of fantasy.
I'm talking here 15th, 16th round, because he's just like, because you just go back to those days where he was like, at one point he was elite in fantasy. He's the guy that you wanted because he could run and he could pass.
Dual
and
threat.
Obviously, right. And we're way past that now, but you can talk yourself into, okay, is he going to have a better year this year? Because you've got that great offensive line on this team. You've got a solid running game. And now this year, the big difference is you've actually got receiving threats on the offensive side of the ball that could open things up for him. So maybe 15, maybe 16, but I even have a tough time saying that because, personally, I don't think Cam is going to be your starting quarterback for most of the season.
Ooh, that's a different topic right there.
That is a different topic. That's the topic that we're going to get into as we get closer to the year. But I just have a tough time seeing Cam remaining your starting quarterback, especially after what we saw last season. Because, again, guys, we know We know he didn't have great weapons last season. But that doesn't negate the fact that he had guys wide open and he would miss them left and right.
Apparently,
it doesn't negate that fact.
He's even more healthier this year than he was last year, apparently.
Oh my God. Listen, I'll believe it when I see it. I want to believe it. I want to believe it. I want the Patriots to be good. And if that means Cam Newton's got to be great, then I hope Cam Newton is excellent. And if I do take him in the 15th to 16th round, I hope I have a tough time being like, okay, do I want to start Cam this week? He's looking damn good. That's what I want. I just have a tough time believing it after last season. I do. I just have a tough time believing it.
Yeah,
I want to. I do. But I just, I don't know.
There's definitely people, and I definitely remember in one or two of my drafts for sure. There's people who really took a chance on Cam Newton last year because they expected him to come back. You know, he missed a lot of time. He's healthy. He's with the New England Patriots. He's going to find success. There's guys that I did fantasy with who took that opportunity because that was their mindset. I was all in on Cam Newton coming to the Patriots and being the quarterback. I was not going to be all in on Cam Newton as my starting quarterback in fantasy football. Not a chance. Been doing it.
I know. I'm trying to find my draft results from last season. I don't know if that's even possible, but
you got to dig deep.
But I think somebody took Cam like relatively early in my league.
In one of my leagues for sure. And we all looked at that guy like, what are you doing? But he's like, you're going to see Cam's back. Cam's back. Superman's back. And I know for sure he did not win that league. So
is there a way to search on here? Because I ended up finding my results.
Is it a Yahoo league? ESPN?
Yahoo.
Yeah, you'd have to go to like just your season or something. I don't know. It's a deep dive. I'm pretty sure there's a way to look at it, but it's a deep dive. I don't know how to do it for sure, but I think there's.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong because I'm looking and I'm having a tough time finding them here in this draft. But I mean, it's when you think back, when you reminisce on the past that was Cam Newton fantasy football. You know, you want it to happen again, especially being a Patriots fan. You want this guy to show up this year and surprise the hell out of us after last season.
Cam Newton in his prime was doing what Lamar Jackson was doing, Russell Wilson, you know.
When he was on the one, you knew he was scoring that football. It was one of those. It was automatic.
Cam Newton, for those maybe watching who may be too young to remember, Cam Newton was doing those type of fantasy numbers in his prime in Carolina. But
what was the year that he spanked the Patriots? Was it 2015?
2015. That's the year they went to the Super Bowl, right?
Was Talib on the team? Because it was Talib and Smith who were going at it in one game.
I believe so. I think that's 2015. I think.
Yeah, might be getting the year wrong, but I remember. Cam. There was one point. Listen, you youngins. There was one point where Cam Newton was tearing it up. He was elite. He was on that Seahawks game last year where they were on basically the 1 or the 2 yard line, and they tried to sneak it in with Cam. In 2015, that wasn't even a question.
Yeah,
he was in the end zone.
Hey, the man was named the NFL MVP for a reason.
Superman.
Yeah.
Hey, folded in the Super Bowl against a lame duck Peyton Manning.
Let's see if he can.
Rough.
He can find some of that magic. The Patriots did everything they could do to help the offense. Now it's on him to perform. That's what it boils down to. And
we're going to see if the pressure pushes him a little bit because the future's here. The future was drafted in round 1 this year. You don't draft a kid round 1. I mean, look what they did with N'Keal Harry. They really tried. They really tried.
Oh boy, what a guy.
Yeah. All right, you ready to wrap?
We can wrap this up, man.